2. Hey guys, this is Kelly from the Freckled Flower Farm. I was inspired by John Mark in Nashville. He's a really fun florist. So if you don't follow him, I recommend it. And it's something that we've done before, but hadn't really videoed it. And so I thought I would do it for you guys now. Basically, I went to the grocery store and I got some goodies to kind of play with so that you could go to the grocery store and also do this and have a little fun this spring. So I got a variety of things. I got some kale, and we grew ornamental kale, but we haven't grown it in a while, and so I've kind of missed out on using it in arrangements, but it is really cool. This is a dinosaur kale, and then we have a darker foliage as well. I thought that was a really nice contrast to the lighter foliage. All right. And then this I actually got from our farm. This is some curly willow because I thought it might be fun to add in. And then I got some gorgeous garden roses that they had. And these were like their little spring packs, which had tulips, little pussy willow, and some hyacinths. So I thought those would be fun to use. Some rainbow chard, just because I thought that was really pretty, and I loved like that red stalk. I thought that would be so pretty with that tulip. So that might be neat to add in as well. And I'll show you some other things as we get going. All right, so to start, if you've been to any of our classes, you know that we always start with greenery. The first thing I have in our vase is some water, obviously. And then let me throw in some flower food, which often will come in with your bunches of flowers. And that just helps keep the water clean and add like a glucose for it to, try to feed the flowers. And then we're just gonna add some greenery. So my kale, I've got some of kind of my regular kale. These stems are kind of short, so I'm gonna save those for a little bit later so they don't just fall on in to our vase. And then we're gonna get our darker leaf kale going. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I've got some of these nice longer stems, and I'm gonna take off any of these leaves that might get in our water. Comment below if you know why we take off the leaves. All right, so I'm gonna grab some of these and I'm just taking off anything that might get in my water. All right, I love like that deep purple, and that is just gorgeous. Okay, so I've got a few of these. And then I'm gonna get some of my dinosaur kale, that really dark curly kale as well, and start getting that prepped in just a second as well. And I'll add that in after I get in my this curly dark kale. So everything I'm gonna put in my vase, I am gonna give a little cut. That just helps in case, like here, this has split open, so it might be a little harder for it to drink. It could be that it calluses over, and you just want to give it a quick little cut, just to make sure that it's able to drink water. That's kind of your biggest primary goal. So I'm going to pop these on in here. I'm finding that I did not strip these well enough. All right. So I'm going in at some angles. Let that sit around my vase. And the vase I'm using is actually from Hobby Lobby. And if you don't know, they go on sale every other week. So you can get them almost half off every other week. All right, so I've gone around and I've created kind of a nice collar here with all of that nice dark kale foliage. And now I'm gonna come in with some of this dinosaur kale, and I'm just stripping off anything that might get in that water. All right, so just like that, maybe a little bit more. All right, so I'm gonna do this to a few pieces and give myself a nice stem. The bonus with shopping in the produce section for your flower arrangements is that like all this yummy stuff I can eat. It's a good snack. I actually ate some of the rainbow chard on the way over here. All right, getting some of those off. So this nice dinosaur kale, see how like tall it is? That's gonna give us a little more height in our arrangement. Again, just cleaning off that stem. All right, by now someone should have responded. If they haven't, shame on you, just kidding. The reason we don't want any leaves in our water is because it causes bacteria, and bacteria is the quickest thing that kills your flowers. So this is so fun. Like I was telling my dad earlier that how great it was that, you know, I'm picking up, you know, this was, I don't know, like $1.20, and then this pack, another like $1.10. The rainbow chard, I think, was like $1.15 or something. And so it's a nice, inexpensive way to have something fun on your table. So if you're, you know, have people coming over for Easter, or I gave that a cut, or, you know, a holiday or a birthday or anything like that, it's a fun way to make something kind of different for your table or just for you. We are making this for my mom, who is caretaker extraordinaire. She is Nurse Dee Dee, she is Wife Dee Dee, she is Mimi Dee Dee, Mom Dee Dee. She does a little bit of everything, so we thought she could use a little something fun. All right, so I'm just kind of mixing these in. I'm gonna lift up one and kind of tuck it under to give it even more of that kind of layered look. Pop this guy right under here. I need one more. We work in triangles, we try to, and so I noticed that I had done 2 underneath the dark purple kale, and so now I need one more to give me that triangle. All right, pop him right under here. Okay, so looking fun already, right? Oh, how about that? Sarah told me that that guy was in the way. Now this kale, I'm kind of concerned about. It's a little wilty. So I'm thinking this might just be to eat. That's okay. Again, it was like $1 something. So now I've got some kale. I can make some kale chips. I can always add in some more of our dinosaur kale, which I might do as we start getting some things in here. But let me get to our rainbow chard. Again, I just love those stalks and the coloring on that. So, I mean, look at that guy. He's so fun. This stem kind of broke a little bit, so I'm gonna cut it right above where it broke and then add that in. And that's gonna give a different color green, which is nice. It'll be a really nice contrast to all those darker colors. Slide that in. And then I've got this fun, look at that red. I mean, it's so cool. This stalk is like celery, but it feels like it. That's good. Kind of very watery like celery, a little bitter. All right, and then I think I might tuck him kind of in like that maybe. Okay, so now I've got some fun lighter colors, but then like colorful stalks that I just think is really neat. Even one that doesn't have much at the top, like I might even take some of this off. The stem itself is so cool. So I might just include him just to have a little bit of that stem showing. All right, so those are my greens, super fun. And then now I've got my pack of spring blooms. I usually am much tidier than this as I work, but I was considering eating some of these scraps, so it's kind of hard to throw them away. All right, so I've got my tulips, my hyacinth, and some pussy willow in here, and we're just gonna take our little rubber bands off. And then, I mean, look at this color. I mean, I just love it. This is my color palette. I'm gonna kind of take off any of that dirt that's on that hyacinth. And I've got 3 of those. So like I was saying earlier, working in some triangles, some odd numbers with design. So I'm gonna slide that hyacinth in and let that kind of poke out a little bit there. And then I'm gonna spread these around and just cut off that bottom. And I just am loving this like little, it's kind of like a little bit of spring, but then the dark kind of reminds me a little bit of like it's still winter. The dark colors allow the lighter colors to pop. This one, look at that, it's got like a little baby. So cute. Okay, so I've got my like triangle of our hyacinth, and then I'm gonna add in some of these tulips. My mom loves tulips. She grows some really beautiful red tulips, which I think are gonna be in the woods this year. They were relocated. They're really pretty. All right, so I've got these little guys, and I just kind of want them to kind of poke, kind of peek out. What's cool about tulips, they're so interesting. They will continue growing. So once I make that cut and we're in light and they've got a little warmth, they will start growing in the vase. So like tomorrow, they might be just a little taller. The next day, just a little taller. And they really do grow in the vase, which is cool. And then I'm gonna add some of this color, which I just think looks so cool with that rainbow chard. What do you guys think? Who is ready for spring? Me. Sarah's ready for spring. She is so ready to be out in that field more. One of her favorite things to do is to weed, believe it or not. So, anybody else like that? I didn't think so. I'm just kidding. So I've got some more little tulips peeking out. Really want to kind of flood this with tulips, almost like it's literally like a field, and they're just kind of poking out of the ground. Nice. And then my pussy willow is a lovely bush, and I'm just taking off any of those little buds, those little fuzzy buds that might get in the water, just so they don't get cause bacteria in there. And popping those in, again, 3. Good job, grocery store, giving us a nice odd number to work with. Now, I went to Whole Foods. Sometimes I go to Trader Joe's, sometimes I go to Wegmans, sometimes I go to Kroger, sometimes I go to Publix. Just kind of depends on what you like. Then I'm gonna add in some actual lavender. We actually have a wedding coming up that wants real lavender, and we have some, but it's a wedding, so you know they need a whole lot. So I thought I might as well grab some of this, add it to this arrangement, and then I'll have a little extra for that wedding. Oh my gosh, it smells delightful. It's gonna be a nice contrast to the, kale. It doesn't stink, but it's not like the best smelling thing. So this lavender will be really nice. And I'm gonna group these so you can see them a little bit better. So I've got like a group of 3, and they don't really need to be in water because they're dried. And I'm gonna slip them into the height that I would like. Kind of like having a little bit there towards the top. Got my other little group of 3. Slide them in right in here. Okay. And then I've got a few more. Grab those. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Lavender, the leaves, like if you grow lavender, the leaves are what smell like extraordinary. It's actually, that smells better than the flower itself. Even the stem is really smells really good. Kind of like, I don't know if you know, cilantro is similar. The stems hold a lot of that flavor in cilantro. Okay, so I've got some lavender mixed all around. And then I've got these gorgeous garden roses. Okay, so I've got those, and then I have one more little surprise, which I think I'll go ahead and put in before I do the roses. So I got some artichokes, because why not? How cool are they? And then I wanted to get 3 different colors. They didn't have 3 different colors of artichokes, but a dragon fruit looks pretty similar as far as, you know, the design of it. And I just thought that would be a cool contrast. And the dragon fruit looked so cool with that coloring of that tulip. All right, so I'm gonna slip this in. Now, because these are larger, they're gonna go a little bit lower in my vase, whereas smaller blooms go up a little bit taller. So slide that in there. Then I've got my artichoke right in here. And again, these are not, I mean, they're not all that expensive for something that is a wow. You know, like if you've got people coming over and you wanna just have something that they're like, oh my gosh, what is this? What on earth have you created? This is something you can do just from your grocery store. Okay, so I've got that going on right now. Now I'm gonna pop in some of these roses. I did not bring my de-thorner, so I'm praying these aren't too thornalicious. All right, so our roses, you can spin roses upside down and even like give them kind of blow in the center there and let them open up a little bit. And then you want to pop off these guard petals. So who else has gone to the grocery store and used veggies and greens? I know that for Easter, we're planning on doing an arrangement that incorporates carrots. Our friend June has sent us photos several years, and I always want to do it, and I just haven't. And so this year, I just told myself we are going to do it this year. And so I've already got a plan for that. I can't wait. But I'm curious if anybody else, we've done limes and lemons and stuff before at the bottom of vases, which is fun. All right, those had a little thorn, so getting those off. All right, so you can see how that nice kind of almost buttery color complements kind of these other brighter colors and just kind of softens this arrangement a little bit. So I've got 3. I'm gonna try for 3 more. And then we should be finishing up. So I'm gonna add another one a little bit lower there. So I'm trying to put these at different heights. You don't want your arrangement to look like, did any of you guys have like the straight bangs, which I know can be really cool. On me, not so much. You don't really want that for your arrangement. You want more of that layered look. So everything has just slightly different heights. This is looking great. All right, let me get one more on this side and turn it around for you guys. There we go. Okay. All right, what do we think? Sarah, do I need more?
It's gorgeous. I think you're good.
I think I need something to go between these 2 tulips right here. All right, I'm gonna stop there. I have a whole other pack of tulips and hyacinth and pussy willow. So if I, look at this and I think, I need to add a little bit more, I can always go back and do that. Now I talked about that vase from Hobby Lobby. Totally fine. This is great for a centerpiece. A centerpiece shouldn't be too tall. And we can use the elbow trick. And I'm not sure if this will pass because I wasn't really focusing on that. But if you put your elbow down and this isn't taller, which actually is pretty good, then you should be able to see over it. So this could work as a centerpiece as it is. I found this cool container at the farm, and I can actually set that vase in there so that now it's elevated. And so what I'm gonna do is, see where you can see the vase? So I'll come back in with some of those shorter kale pieces and let those hide that for me. So for example, go right in here. Start to build a little bit there. And we start to hide that. Pretty soon, no one will ever know. I could even use, let's see, I've got a short one of our little dinosaur kales. I can come in, and I'm just kind of barely tucking that into my vase so that then it hangs over and covers. Actually, this one's nice and arched. Some already have a nice curve to it, so it will hang and cover for us. All right, let's see how that does. All right, we're getting there. Sarah, what do we think so far?
I think it's fantastic.
Yay! All right, so I will keep kind of adding to cover that vase end, but you can see now how, now it's like a wow factor. You could put it on your food table or at your entrance and just wow your guests, or even just for you. Hey, why not spoil yourself a little bit? Well, thank you guys. I just wanted to share what you can do with some stuff at the grocery store. And tune in next time. Who knows, Sarah might take you out to the field and do some weeding.